And away we go. It is the BCJ Podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail, right here on BearcatJournal.com. We are live from the Cincy Light studios. And what two better things to put together than the Holy Grail and Cincy Light? We are going to be doing that 1 week from tomorrow night, 8 days from now, live at the Holy Grail. It's the first BCJ watch party of the season, sponsored by Cincy Light. There will be giveaways at the end of every quarter. Get some Cincy Light swag, enjoy some Cincy Light, and have a great time watching the Bearcats take on Nebraska to kick off the 2025-26 football season. I gotta get my brain straight and realize that we are now in the 25-26 season. But make sure you join us. And of course, remember, 50 cents from every Cincy Light purchased at the Holy Grail will go back into the University of Cincinnati to support the athletes that entertain you throughout the season. All right, let's get this show on the road. It is a special double edition here, as we were going to be joined our yearly episode with Anthony DeFino. Apparently, he's too busy for us. He can work in Coffee with Cunningham, but, you know, the nighttime doesn't work out for Anthony anymore. He's too busy.
No, I know Anthony had something come up, so I'm the backup.
We went to the bullpen
pitcher. Yeah, so
are you righty or lefty?
Hopefully I can do him justice and talk up all the cool game day enhancements and everything Nippert Stadium has to offer.
We're joined by UC Associate Athletic Director and Sports Information Director, Zack Stipe, who you're righty, right? You're a righty. We go to the righty.
I'm a righty.
You go to the righty in the pen. Dave, how the heck are you?
Oh, I'm great now that we have another Vol on the show. So doing good.
He just worked there. I don't know that you're not.
I did get my master's degree from Tennessee. So.
I know these things.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. But we've got a lot to get to. We'll talk to Zack here for a little while, hit on all the game day enhancements as we get into the 25 season. And then Dave and I will take over and provide the much anticipated,
never duplicated
season preview. Nobody brings
Zack know about our old AAC media poll shenanigans. Does he know that story?
The what?
I don't know. You can tell him.
What happened?
It's probably what the year before
20
COVID?
or 21.
2021, something like that. We were asked to participate in the AAC media poll, and we drew names out of a hat, teams out of a hat for our rankings. And then we were not asked to do it again.
There you go. That sounds about right.
Well, Zack, to be fair, we didn't do it like we knew who the top 2 or 3 teams were going to be, and we ranked them, and we knew who the bottom 2 or 3 teams were going to be, and then the rest was just a cluster, you know what. So we drew all of those names out of a hat, and we ended up being, I think, a lot closer than the actual media poll, drawing names out of a hat. So
I think we had UC and Houston 1-2, and that's who played in the championship. So,
well, I mean, you guys say that, and it's like the Big 12 last year, right?
Yeah,
right.
You could have pulled names out of the hat, and who knows? And that's the fun of the Big 12. But certainly that the AAC that year in 2021, you knew the Bearcats were going to be the best. And, I'm sure Houston was bringing back a lot. So they ended up being who we played in the championship that year.
We actually did this podcast. I actually had a hat with all the names in it. And every time it would come up for a new team, we'd go to the hat, we'd draw the name out. Then Dave and I would break down the team. And then it was over. We'd go back to the hat and do another one.
very professional outfit you're dealing with
Yeah,
here.
you guys, best right there. Big J journalists.
Yeah, we are not.
Lowercase J.
But anyway, let's talk about these enhancements.
Yeah.
I was going through it to freshen up for this podcast. If I just said number one thing, biggest move, attention grabber, thing you think the fans are going to like the most, what is it?
So I think that Nippert is the Wrigley Field of college football, right? And it's this incredible stadium. If you haven't been there, everyone that's listening to this has been there. But it's incredibly on the center of campus and everything like that. So like, how can we enhance the experience for people that are coming? And I think from a family side, we created the 513 stands, which there will be a few throughout the stadium. So you can get items for $5, $1, $3. And that's from listening to fans. Dave, I know you were part of the fan council at one time. And finding affordable options for families, I think that's going to be a big hit. And then I know people are really excited about the kind of return of the Rhine Room. The Rhine Room was kind of the Catskeller before the Catskeller. And so kind of a nostalgic turn on that, turning the Catskeller back into the Rhine Room, and serving Mr. Jim's sandwiches again, which was a big hit for students in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way to the 2000s. And then I think the Beer Garden and Sheakley Lawn, that's going to be a huge hit. Cincinnati's a German city, so like leaning into our beer heritage. Obviously, we've had the great partnership with Rhine guys for Cincy Light, but other beers will be sold there. So I'm really looking forward to that, as well as the Nippert market, which will be tons of local Skyline, Fare, Donato's, other Cincy type ventures there. So that will be pretty cool.
From a tailgating standpoint, we always know that there's, the campus it's a tight situation, traffic, tailgating, everything. Anything new for tailgating, whether it is on Sheakley, whether it's on the grid, like where do we kind of sit with that going into the season?
So, I think obviously we have the partnership with Revel XP that can, get you, turnkey, a tailgate there and with food and TVs and stuff like that at the grid. Obviously people can buy spots at the grid and do it themselves. I think there's some stuff in the works there for the first game there too, for people to kind of hang out, have fun right there by the grid as well. I don't want to give too much away. I think that's still being baked. But obviously Sheakley's going to have a lot more fun stuff too with the beer garden, with other exciting, fan-centric things for Sheakley. I think like part of it's too, like you can go to the Rhine Room right there, like utilizing all that campus has to offer there with TUC. I think that's what's really unique about Nippert, being that it is in the center of campus. It is connected to campus buildings. It offers a lot of cool different things that other spots don't really have like that.
The loading dock. I'm reading about the loading dock. That sounds like could be a good name for a bar. Could be a good name to get some food. What that's going to be kind of under the press box area, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's actually going to be on the other side where the loading dock is.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'm mistaken. I should look at the map.
You could be right. There's a loading dock on both sides. You're right. So I think that DeFino originally wanted to call it the loaded dock, but I think Cunningham nixed that. So but that's going to be awesome. That's going to have a lot of cool beverages there. I think that will have the lemonades, the spiked lemonades, the NA lemonades. So a lot of cool things there. I think just holistically trying to take the fan experience there to the next level with different drink options. Obviously there's going to be Cincy Lights everywhere, but just for everybody, right? Like people that want like Surfside's going to be there, right? There's going to be other drink options and stuff like that too. So something for everyone.
Kind of going into the game itself, the game day presentation, things of that nature. Is there anything being done? I saw some pictures. Maybe there were some repairs or even new ribbon boards. Anything with, what you guys are going to be doing kind of in game that fans should look out for?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like that's, you have to keep trying to get better there for the in-game presentation. So obviously, if you've been in the stadium, you saw we're working on some new ribbon boards, and we're gonna have an announcement this week or next, fully describing everything with the ribbon boards. But if you've seen them, it's gonna take it to the next level. And what the ribbon boards are really gonna help too with Cincy Sports Partners, our new in-house multimedia rights team. We're gonna be able to sell more sponsorships there, which in turn is gonna help the athletic department grow, which we need to compete in the Big 12, the Power 4 level. But it's also going to help with the game day experience, right? Like the more fun we can do with the video boards, the more elements we can have on there will be great. And I know I just saw the intro video, the new one that the team will have. It's done phenomenally by our creative video team with football, Amani Alderson. So I think fans will be fired up for that as well.
Chad, you got anything for Zach?
You're probably gonna be mad at me for this one, but you might be able to answer. Local, the scoreboard with updated scores around the country is the question we get a lot. Can you explain kind of the challenges that have happened with that, like on keeping the game day scoreboard updated, and are there any plans this year to bring that back?
I see what you mean. So like fans at the game want to see the scores from other games going on at the same time, right?
Out of town scores.
Yeah. So honestly, I wasn't aware that was a challenge that we've had. I know in the past we have been able to put those up at times. Obviously, someone has to be doing it. So I don't know exactly, Chad, what the specific is. It something they're saying we haven't done enough?
There's a lot of times where it doesn't change. Like
I know a few years ago, maybe even when I was on the fan council, it was something to do with the computer program wasn't cooperating with like the system that the scoreboard used at the time, and so that's been a couple of years now. But
that's good to take it. I could take that back and talk to our video board team on that. I mean, obviously, like, I think that's something relevant that fans want to see. It sounds very reasonable, And Chad, I know I want to talk through, like, if you guys have any questions on Ticketmaster or Lava or anything like that too, because I think that's a significant. When you asked what the best upgrade was, honestly, it's probably the app. It's probably Ticketmaster. Outside of the Nippert experience, those are things that I think have been really impressive and seamless. Dave, I don't know if you've checked out your tickets or anything yet. If it's been an easy process.
I have not. But do that, because like that's something that I don't like. I've never really been that type of person to use that type of a feature. I've just had the ticket in the wallet and used the scan it that way. So like with these new apps and additions, like what are some of the things that you think fans will like applicable to them on a game in game out basis to really use?
So I think like number one, we needed to get a better app, right? That was something we heard from fans too. Like, it needs to be seamless. It needs to be easy to watch videos on there. And I think any like sports team, they want to be able to drive their fans to the app, and then you can use that to help sell merchandise. But you can use that to then give discounts, which we'll do through Lava, right? So you drive fans to the app. Use Lava to give them, season ticket holders, if they download the app, they're going to be able to get a 10% discount from Lava, right? But where I think it's really cool, and Dave, like, I've always just kind of done the same thing, right? Like, someone sends me the ticket, I'm going, whether it's through Ticketmaster, StubHub, whatever, I'm using it. What's great about this is this app, you can log into your Ticketmaster or your UC account, and then it's connected to Ticketmaster. So I can go to my app and it can be gobearcats.com for me. And I can easily just go look at my tickets at the same time from the app. So I did that the other day. It was an incredibly easy process. Obviously our UC tickets team is on call, ready to walk anybody through it if they need it. I know one thing Ticketmaster gets hit on is like there's extra fees. There's no extra fees if you buy your tickets through your UC account like you have been before. So I don't know if you guys have gone on the new gobearcats.com.
Can you transfer Like, can you transfer tickets through there? Does it literally just take you to your Ticketmaster account, and then you do it that way?
Yeah, it's very similar to like if you've got Bengals tickets before too. You go to the Bengals app, and it can take you to your ticket page, and you can. Yeah, I sent tickets to someone the other day. I found it very seamless and easy, and it was something that we heard from our fans. Like, we needed to get that user experience better for our website, things of that nature. And we've invested a lot, and that's my team, right? That's doing the videos, doing the social media content. So driving, like putting that stuff on our app, like the Let's Rain podcast, the Four Claps podcast, and some of the other cool videos and stuff we're doing. Hopefully to be a one-stop shop for our fans on that.
What would you say to people that just inherently hate Ticketmaster? Like, that's out there. Like, there's people that just, it's out there.
I would say, like, that's such a Chad, you always have the I would say give it a chance. Like, if you're like, it's for your Bearcats, right?
I would have less diplomatic things to say.
No, and I think like we did a process, right? Like you do a process, and it was the vendor that won out. Like, we did a very thorough process with our team. And they won out. They won the bid on that, and it really has been a seamless process. And I hadn't really used it like this before, and I was incredibly impressed. And I think all our fans will be too.
I just kind of get to the point, Zach. Like, there's no people when the announcement was made, people are mad because they don't like Ticketmaster.
Yeah,
the word, like, they've had a bad experience at buying a concert ticket or. Whatever, like they don't like the monopoly of it, but they see the word, they have a visceral reaction. That doesn't necessarily mean, because the way that it's being integrated into your system, that it's going to be like buying a concert ticket on Ticketmaster. It's kind of what.
Yeah, this is a seamless, like, we've upgraded our technology here, and it all works very well together, right? Like WMT, who's now doing our website, works with Ticketmaster, which works with Lava, and it's all working seamlessly. And I think I really do think it's going to be an upgrade in the ticket experience with that for fans. And obviously, anyone can call the ticket office for whatever they need, and fans can still get the hard tickets too. Obviously, like, mobile tickets are where most places are going, right? And that makes it, I think, seamlessly and easy. But obviously there's going to be some, hiccups that come up as you go to the first game and stuff. But we encourage fans to download the app and make sure it all works, and call the ticket office if you have any problems. That's what they're here for, to make sure all the fans have a great experience. And come September 6th, we fill that stadium up for Bowling Green and get it rocking.
Speaking of just tickets in general, I know there's some flex plans and single game tickets. I imagine you can still get. Where are kind of the price ranges, and where are things at with tickets as we or a week out?
Yeah, so we still have tickets available. Obviously, the ticket prices range right from low to high. Like, I don't have the exact ticket prices in front of me, but the season ticket packages are super affordable. I mean, you can bring a family of 4 into a game, go to the 513 stand, and you're only going to spend, $100, or a little bit more. So I think it's very affordable compared to, any of the other competing teams in the area for the product you're going to get for 7, home games, all the Big 12 teams that are coming in, UCF, BYU, those teams like that. I do think one thing too, we created our fan experience team. That was, again, listening to the fans, listening to the fan council. What can we do? So it's going to be something that, like, we're listening all the time, and it could be week to week we're making upgrades on stuff. But it's very important in the athletic department, to John Cunningham, to everybody, that we're all in on keeping and upgrading and enhancing the fan experience. We want our fans to keep coming back. We want to have that home field advantage to give everyone that incredible experience that Nippert has been and can continue to be.
So there anything else? Is there anything we missed? And we talked kind of the concessions. We talked new app. Talked some in-game stuff. Is there anything from your notes that you want to make sure that everybody hears about?
I'll say this. I'll give a shout out to the team. I've been out there at practices. Chad, you've been out there. Dave, I've seen you out there. I mean, I think it's gonna be a tremendous product on the field this year. I think when you have a returning quarterback who can really sling it, wide receivers that can really run, returning tight end who's an NFL player, couple dynamic running backs, it's going to make for a really exciting offense, really exciting football. You guys talked about, drawing cards from a hat for the AAC a few years ago. But that's really the excitement of the Big 12. It's the conference. Last year had the most one-score games, the most fourth quarter lead changes. So it really is great football. And I think, what we're asking fans is to come Saturday with us. That's our marketing campaign for this year. Come tailgate with us, score touchdowns with us, watch with us, but Saturday with us. Each home game is a Saturday this year at Nippert Stadium. Again, most fans on here have been to Nippert Stadium, so you get the kind of the charm of it, the excitement that it brings, the unique nostalgia of an over 100-year-old stadium, whereas we also keep trying to enhance all the game day elements around it. But I think it's going to be an overall great experience for everyone this year. Chad, you think it'll be good, right? You've been out there.
Yeah.
You'll have to listen to the rest of the 2 hours after you get off here. We'll give you
that's the fun of this conference and kind of the hair pulling thing of this conference. We've been in a lot of leagues since we've been doing the Big East, the AAC, now the Big 12. Most of the time there was a pretty clear picture of like who the best teams were, like who the favorites were. And then you had a pretty good idea who the bad teams were. That was the funny joke about the AAC that year was we knew who the best teams were, we knew who the worst teams were, and everybody else was just kind of tossed in a hat. I couldn't tell you. I know everybody's big on Arizona State because they're the defending Big 12 champs, whatever. I couldn't tell you with any confidence who I genuinely believe is the favorite to win this thing. I would not bet $1 of your money on anybody to win the league. There's no idea. No idea.
Yeah. Well, you look back in college football is so fun, right? You guys have been there to see the Kelsey brothers, right? Like Chad, you were covering them back in the day. Sauce Gardner,
way too long.
Sauce Gardner, right? Like who could be the best cornerback in the NFL? 2 Hall of Famers like that. Alec Pierce could be a Pro Bowler in the NFL this year. You can watch these incredible stars develop right before your eyes, right? Like Travis Kelce's journey to becoming who he is started with kind of his roller coaster ride through college at Cincinnati, right? Like
putting it kindly.
Sauce Gardner, 140 pounds, comes in as like the 6th DB against UCF and has a game-winning pick 6, and then like from there just takes off. So it's that just kind of the incredible excitement, fun of college football. I'm fired up about it. Obviously, we go to Arrowhead next week to take on Nebraska. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we hope to have the fans there. It's the home field advantage we need for every game. The players feed off that, and I think like we're really working diligently to enhance the experience, and we encourage fans to reach out to me, Zack.Stipe@uc.edu, if you guys have any ideas to make the game experience better. Dave, Chad, I know you guys are never shy to tell me what you think too, and we appreciate it all. So like I'll take that down. It's back to the team about the out of town scores. I think that if that's important, if that's something we can efficiently do, let's get it done.
One thing I've never been called, Zack, is shy.
No doubt.
I've been called a lot of things. Some of them this week, but never shy.
Who's your breakout players from this this fall for football?
I think a lot of people expect like Jeff Caldwell and Cyrus Allen to be good. I thought Noah Jennings had an outstanding camp.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick a defensive MVP of camp in terms of like who showed up on my notes, because we take diligent notes at practice, Zack. I would probably go with CJ McCray as a guy that continuously, like when you go back over the notes day after day after day, he's always in there.
Yeah.
So, that's not to take anything away from anybody else, but just some names that have popped out, maybe of guys that aren't the ones that we're expecting to be bigger names. I think Trey Gala-Collard had a great camp and went from, a guy that they weren't sure because of the injuries that had slowed him down, how good he was going to be. But I think he had a good camp. Anybody from when you were there, Dave?
I'm a Simeon Coleman guy, have been since he got here. So I'm expecting big things this year.
Who'd you say, Dave?
Simeon Coleman.
Oh, yeah. I think, you mentioned the defensive line, Chad. What a difference a year makes, right? There was no depth there this time last year. And I think Dante was talking with the media today about the Texas Tech game last year. Like they were down to just him and Kamari Burns playing nose at the end of that wild game last year. And just the amount of depth we have overall on the defensive line, that can just vastly change a defense. But I think we're much improved across the board, every position. So it should be a fun year. And I think fans will really enjoy coming out there.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. You want to stay and do game by game with us? We're
I
gonna go.
Can't do that. As you see, I realized, part of my scramble, I was a couple minutes late to get on here. I realized I don't have a home office anymore because I had a third kid. My man Charlie came a few months ago. That was my home office, his room now. And I was like, oh, I guess I got to use one of my kids' rooms. So this is Owen's room, a lot of Legos, some Mario stuffies there. So he's got to get to bed soon. We got to get ready for he starts school on Friday, so getting him back in that mode. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you for joining us.
Yep,
appreciate you, Zack, and tell Anthony we missed him, but
yes. He would have given you guys a A+. I hope I brought the energy. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Stipe. We will see you soon and appreciate you jumping in and getting everybody up to date.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Bye.
There you go, David. Nippert Stadium enhancements upon us. That means we are not far away. We have 8 days until the season opener. And then what? 17 days until the home opener?
Yeah, something like that.
I went to public school in Kentucky, so math is not always my strong suit, but yeah. All right, well, let's timestamp that as we get ready to go. That timestamp brought to you by our good friends at Turtles Brew. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, gluten-free. It's a bourbon-infused sweet tea. They have cherry lime, raspberry peach, orange vanilla, lemonade tea, and also strawberry mint. There's more than 50 locations in Greater Cincinnati, over 100 around Ohio, and might have some big news. Big Turtles Brew news soon, Dave. I was talking with our guy Gary at Turtles Brew. It's not ready yet, but there's some big Turtles Brew news coming here in the not so distant future, hopefully. So if you'd like to find out more, go to turtlesbrew.com for information and the locations nearest you. As we get ready to get into this this season preview, Dave, I know I've teased it a little bit. You've been able to see a little bit of it. I did get some new Homefield apparel.
Man, that's nice.
Oh,
I'm still waiting for that gift card that we were supposed to get last year.
I sent it a couple times, and it just I don't know. Old school Paul.
There it is.
I know it's been on the Homefield site for a while, but I didn't have it, and I needed to add it to the collection. So got the Sea Paul, and it looks good. It looks good. So go to homefieldapparel.com. It's the can't miss kickoff launch. The Cincinnati can't miss kickoff box is outstanding. T-shirts, crew necks, a hoodie. They have a lot of great stuff on there, and not just that. It's not just the can't miss kickoff promotion. There is the best selection of UC vintage logoed apparel. Like I said, T-shirts, crew necks, quarter zips, joggers, hoodies, you name it, they've got it. I've got most of the UC collection in the closet from our many years of a wonderful partnership with Homefield Apparel. So just go to homefieldapparel.com, click on Cincinnati, and that will get you set looking through the UC collection and getting you ready for the season, which at home, just a couple weeks away from the Bowling Green Falcons rolling into Nippert Stadium for a 3:30 kickoff.
Is that what a Falcon says?
Sure. I don't know what a Falcon. I've never talked to one. Have you ever talked to one?
I can't say I have.
I mean, there's other birds. Like, I talk to animals. They don't talk back to me. I'm not saying I can talk to animals, but I'm saying I talk to animals all the time. And I've never heard a falcon. It sounds like maybe more of a screech. Maybe a falcon seems like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it sounds like a crow. I think it would be loud. A falcon sounds like it would be loud. I've been in the presence of a bald eagle. Have you ever done that?
Outside of the zoo, I don't believe so.
They're scary. They're
yeah.
terrifying. I had a bald eagle kind of flex on me, like raise its wings up and flex on me. I was like, "Whoa, bro!"
Like
I do not want beef.
Like the new American Athletic or American Conference. They're not, their new mascot that is the like the person/eagle, whatever you call those things.
With like the real legs and like feet.
Yeah, or yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into it, Dave. We got a big crowd in here. Everybody is excited. Everybody is waiting.
I'm about to throw some cold water on him, unfortunately.
Okay.
After listening to you guys on Monday, I'm glad I wasn't on that show.
I don't think I was over my skis.
You were.
Look, Brent is gonna be over his skis. That's what he does. That's kind of his forte.
Yeah.
It's out over his skis. Let's get to it. Start the season off. Arrowhead Stadium, 9:00, 8 days from today. The Bearcats take on the Cornhuskers of Nebraska.
I just think it's a big ask. I think this is an improved team, but I also think Nebraska is going to be an improved team. You have the second year of a highly touted quarterback who played all of last year, had his ups and downs, but got a ton of experience in Dylan Raiola. I think they had a sneaky, and maybe it's not sneaky, but a very nice addition to their wide receiver room in Dane Key, who some of our fans might be familiar with because he played down the road at Kentucky. So you might have heard a thing or two there. I just think
very productive at Kentucky.
In an offense that was not exactly generous to receivers.
Right.
And so I think that's going to be a great test right away for our defensive backfield. I've heard offensively, they've been getting a lot of Nebraska has been getting a lot of discussion, and I'm hesitant to use some of the metrics that we typically discuss, whether it be SP Plus, whether it be BCF Toys, whether it be K Ford. Like, I appreciate all the work they do, and I don't think that they are, we obviously don't have any idea how they're like necessarily coming up with things. I just
Right.
think it's pretty tough in today's day and age to really get a good grasp outside of maybe the top 10, 15 teams and of how to like rank teams metrically, because like Nebraska defensively, they're 14th defensively, but I've heard a bunch of whether it was Keegan kind of talking about it or other things that I've seen, like that there could be some questions there. And then there's a big thing on returning production, and I appreciate it. I'm like, okay, how are we and this goes for everybody, how are we categorizing returning production? And I've seen some people say, well, even if it's a transfer, maybe they started at least 6 games at their former school. And I go, okay, great. Let's put that into perspective, and let's use UC as a perfect example. Matthew McDoom, great player in the Sun Belt, started all the games at Coastal Carolina. If you're calculating UC's returning production, you're giving them a big boost because the guy that they brought in started every game. But that's it in the Sun Belt. I don't know. I mean, we can all hope that that's going to translate, but nobody knows whether that's going to work or not. So someone that's not even following the team, that's just looking at these from a raw data standpoint of, okay, this guy played here and he's coming in. Like, do you, in your point scale thing, do you dock a guy a point if it's like a move up because you don't know the translation? So, and none of that stuff is told to us, which I don't expect it to be, but that's like, in SP Plus world, and that's the one I seem to reference the most. One, kind of because it's just the easiest to get and go through. I'm not even saying it's the best. I frankly don't think it is, especially this year. There's some Big 12 rankings that I just don't understand, and it doesn't compute to me. But we'll just use that one for the sake of this podcast. Like, how are we determining that when it comes to returning production, and how are you making these numbers into your early season rankings and stuff like that? But to Nebraska itself, I mean, you're basically playing a road game. There's going to be however many tens of thousands of seats that Arrowhead Stadium holds. It's going to be
70,000+.
It's going to be almost all Nebraska fans. I thought, I don't know, it might have been Royer that brought this point up, and on Monday, and we talk about like how important this game is for us. It is equally very, very important for them,
if not more.
Sure,
honestly.
I mean, I would not disagree with you there. I mean, it's a home game for them basically, and they have a very what looks like lighter Big Ten schedule. So if they start 0-1, I'm sure that gives a lot of questions into how good this team is. But I'm going to try not to say I need to see it line like 100 times tonight. But given what the program has been the last 2 years, I've got to see them go into this game and win it before I would feel very good about it being a real possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said last night or Monday night, like, I think I'd probably give Cincinnati like a 40% chance to win.
Yeah, that's quite a bit higher than I would.
I don't think I haven't done a super, super deep dive on Nebraska.
No, neither have I.
I've looked at enough of it. I don't think there is a massive talent gap between the two teams. I just don't they've got questions at defensive line. I think their secondary is supposed to be pretty good.
I mean, technically, that's where they return all their starters. Is there's the whole like returning starters. They return 4 starters on defense. All of them are in the secondary. But again, like returning starters, if you played in every game and you played 25 to 30 snaps in every game, say at linebacker, and now you're a starter, like you may as well be a returning starter, in my opinion. In college football in 2025, like you've played enough to know what the hell you're doing.
Well, that's the issue with I think all of these metric systems. How much have they adapted to college football in 2025? Like a metric system that gauged what a team was supposed to be in the preseason 5 years ago, it's not going to be as effective as a metric system that was designed to rate teams in 2025 with the transfer portal and all the other the COVID year. I think finally we're done with that for the most part.
Well, except apparently like West Virginia, Wisconsin, a couple other schools, they're like trying to get players eligible that don't have any
out of eligibility,
like played Division I college football, and are claiming that like a year at Grand Valley, like I think Wisconsin's trying to do this. Like a guy that played at Grand Valley State last year, who's out of eligibility, they're trying to say that year shouldn't count. Like, why shouldn't that year count? He played Division I college football. Or whatever it is, FCS. Whatever. I mean, he played.
Yeah, he was on the field. So
West Virginia got some injunction tonight for a guy to play that's academically ineligible. Some judge in West Virginia, which the NCAA is gonna shoot that one down. I mean, that's ridiculous. But yeah, we should be done with all that nonsense stuff.
I just don't see a huge talent disparity between the two teams. Now, would I say Nebraska is more talented? Yeah. But I don't think it's exponential.
No.
And we have seen, especially early in the season, early in games, Satterfield's teams have been pretty good. Like the script has been pretty good. Now, it hasn't always held up into the third and fourth quarter. Like, we saw it 2 years in a row with Pitt where they came back. Year one, they were able to hold them off. Year two, they weren't. But Nebraska's also, and I think this is kind of the thing that makes me think like 60-40, Dave, they're very young. Like they're one of the younger teams in the country. And sure, it is home field advantage, but for a lot of these guys, it's going to be first time or relatively new to Bright Lights Big City. How do they respond? We don't necessarily know. Maybe they come out fired up and they just whip Cincinnati the first two drives on both sides of the ball, and they set the tone and they control the game. Yeah. But you're not dealing like I'm less inclined to believe that is going to be the case with a young team, with a team that's Matt Rule's been building for 3 years, and it's all on the back of these guys that have been there. They're in their third season. They've all played a bunch of football. I'd be much more inclined to say like 70-30 Nebraska. But because they're relatively young, I don't know what their response is going to be at 9:00 on a Thursday night in the first real big game for a lot of these guys.
Right.
I think it's fair to say we're not sure. Ultimately, our job right here is to say who we think is going to win. I do think it's going to be Nebraska. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a game decided in the fourth quarter. Would I be shocked if Cincinnati won? No. But my expectation for this one is because of the home field, because I do think they've got a little bit more talent across the board, I'm going to go Nebraska, but I don't think this is a game that like going in Cincinnati has no chance to win. And I think that's evident by, the line's only 6.5, 7. It's kind of hovered right around there. We haven't seen a lot of movement one way or the other on this line. So I think it's expected to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. I do think Nebraska probably wins a close one here. But again, Dave, a lot of that is like you, I don't want to say like prove it a bunch of times this year. This has been a team that has struggled to win close games. This has been a team that, especially last year, the aftermath post-game show, the Bearcat brunch, how much time was spent on the circled play? Like, what would have happened if this didn't go completely wrong for Cincinnati? They need to show me that they're over that. That's not going to be a recurring storyline in 2025 like it was in 2024, and to a lesser extent, even 2023.
I mean, in 2023 is I'm not going to call it like a throwaway year. there were, it's your first year in the Big 12. You're also coming off of the end of the Luke Fickell era. That, I think in retrospect, 2 years down the road, we can, we're not being mean about it, but like it wasn't like there was a ton of high level talent left on the roster. And that's usually the case when you have a very successful coach leave, and you have to rebuild. But like, I just look at like the last couple of years, outside of taking away the EKU and Towson games, they've got one win against a team from a Power 4 conference that had a winning record. That was Arizona State, that didn't have Sam Levitt. Now, I'm not excusing that. I mean, you play who you play.
Right.
But like,
they still had Cam Scotto.
Yeah. So, so everything else has been either teams that have been bad or not Power 4 teams. So to go on the road to get this win, you say you wouldn't be shocked. I'd be pretty surprised. It's kind of where I lie with things.
The number's 53.5. So a 7-point game. They're expecting what? 31-24 range.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into that much more next week. I'll do some like actual digging on Nebraska, but for the sake of this discussion, I mean, I just, I won't say the words again, but if you were listening 5 minutes ago, you know what I would say.
So we've got them both. Oh, we both got them 0-1. Hopefully we're wrong, and we have a joyous celebration Thursday night at like 1:00 in the morning.
Sure.
When I get home from the Holy Grail on the Aftermath. Bowling Green Falcons come to town. Season opener at Nippert Stadium, Saturday, September 6th. 3:30 kickoff. Home opener, wear white. Interesting enough, Dave. I think this is if they are 0-1, I'm not overly worried about Bowling Green.
I'm not worried at all. They should blow their doors off.
Okay. Bowling Green, you expect to be bad.
Well, in the second game of the year against a P4 team, yes. Now, when you get to November, maybe are they making a run at the MAC championship game? I think that's totally in the realm of possibility. But at this point in the season, with a whole new coaching staff, and again, we can put little asterisks by all these, but 132nd in the nation in returning production. So Eddie George, who did really nice things at Tennessee State, has basically an entirely new team.
Mm-hmm.
And if this game is within 4 touchdowns, that will foretell a lot to me for the rest of the year.
So we're not going to spend a ton of time on this one.
No.
We both think the Bearcats will beat Bowling Green. Northwestern State, we can...
I don't have to spend any time. If they don't win Northwestern State, then we've got a total different show about mid-September.
Yeah. I think that's more than fair. Bye week. I think they'll probably tie. I think they're going to tie. I think it's going to be
you always win. You always win the off week.
Okay. Well, that doesn't count. That doesn't count towards bowl eligibility. So I'm going to go tie. I think they tie. Both the offense and defense have good weeks, and
yeah,
whatever. Let's get into what'll be the bulk of this show, David. Saturday, September 27th, David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium.
Brand new
in
David
Lawrence,
Booth,
Kansas
Memorial Stadium.
Well, it's not completely new, right? They just
redid. It's pretty much all done. Redone, yeah.
Okay. I know they were doing, like last year was just a section of it that was...
I think it's, for all intents and purposes, I think it's pretty much a new. They might not tore it down to the studs, but I think it's pretty much all new.
Okay. Cincinnati at Kansas, Saturday, September 27th. Kansas returns their quarterback for his 14th season in Lawrence, although he's only played 3 of them, it feels like. Kansas is interesting to me because they were like the exact opposite of Cincinnati last year. They were dreadful to start the season, and then played spoiler quite a bit down the stretch and played their best football of the season at the end of the year. I really like their coach. Tiger, what are you doing, bro? Lay down. I really like their coach. Their quarterback's very talented when he's on the field. Where are you at with Kansas right now?
Yeah, Jalon Daniels, you said it. He's talented when he plays. He was not very good he was terrible, frankly, at the beginning of the year last year. Was hurt pretty much all the year before. So where are you? Where are they with health with him? It's going to be a question mark until it's not. They have a revamped offensive line. One of the better running backs in the league, Devin Neal, is no longer there. This is the game to me that I kind of starred as like, if this team is going to be different, then they can go on the road and get this win. Because, SP Plus, they're 48th. They're 63rd in returning production with 84th on defense. So, again, grain of salt, grain of sand, whatever. But, seems like they're replacing a lot on defense, potentially. And I just think, how long does a revamped offensive line take to come together? Is there another running back that does for them what Devin Neal did, and especially who
was incredible
in the pass game too, just awesome for them in the pass game. So, this is one that it's like, if you think they're a 5-7 to 7-5 team, then this is one I think you got to win if you think they're going to get to that higher end of some projections. But you got to right now. I'm gonna just lean with the home team slightly. This team is not. I don't know if they, outside of UCF and last year and Houston, the year before that was real bad. They haven't won a road gaming conference. So, it's this is one that I think they definitely can win, but for this on August 20th, I'm going to say, probably hopefully, not hopefully a close loss, but just going to call it a loss right now.
I'm leaning win on this one, but I'm not overly confident. The main thing for me is, what is this run defense? Because that offense that Leopold runs can be tricky and has had teams just guessing at times on how to stop their attack. Where the ball's coming from.
Lots of motion. And last year too, I want to say that was their first year with. Now I don't know if they made another coordinator change, but their offensive coordinator that was kind of the mastermind of all that, Andy Kolonicki, he went to Penn State. So last year was their first year with a different OC, and you could probably tell that. The first half of the year it was a mess, and then the second half of the year that it got going again. So I assume that guy's back. I don't know. So I don't want to speak out of turn, but
I think for this exercise we have to assume Jaden Daniels is healthy.
Right. You can't be like, oh well, yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, you can because he's missed a ton of football.
Yeah, but I mean that would if I said he's gonna be out, then of course I would more than likely pick UC. That's not how this works.
I think they win this one or lose this one. But I don't know. I think of the road games, it's probably the second most likely to win. I do think they get a road game.
We'll get to it later. If they don't,
I'll go with a loss. We're both sitting identical right now at 2-2. as we go into Saturday, October 4th, family weekend, stripe the stadium weekend, Cincinnati against Iowa State. I think this really is the first huge litmus test on a lot of things, including, is this a better team at home? Because you can't take a season where you have 7 home games, 5 of them in conference, and fail to again protect home turf.
Right.
I don't know about Iowa State. I maybe you disagree with me. I don't know how good Rocco Becht is.
Well, we're gonna find out because he's got his 2,000-yard receivers are playing, on Sunday now, and both I think were second-round picks from the Texans.
They were.
You got what? Yeah,
they were both second-round picks. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got both their running backs, Abu Sama and another guy.
I thought Sama was going to be much better. I thought after his freshman year, he was going to be a monster.
They complement each other. They complement each other well, though. You've got like a true kind of like thunder and lightning type setup with them. But yes, Rocco Becht with new wide receivers. We'll see. 31st in SP plus, 40th in returning production. We'll get a nice watch of them Saturday for Armageddon. But, and going back to 2023, I feel like the Iowa State game was the first game where maybe even less than or more so than Oklahoma, was the first game where I think we were all like, okay, the Big 12 football is a little bit different than.
We expected Oklahoma to look completely different than Cincinnati.
But UC played much better against Oklahoma than they did against Iowa State.
Yeah, and but I didn't know Iowa State was going to be. I guess I did, but man, they were big.
It'll be a great matchup. They've got a very, very good nose tackle, Dominique Orange. Him against the interior of UC's line will be a really good matchup. Consensus across the board has, from anybody that does these previews, has them in that top group. Now you could probably, how big is your top group? If your top group's 3, maybe not. They're not in it. If your top group's 5, then maybe they're in it. They're certainly a top half of the conference team. But like you said, everybody wants to be, and I feel like there has been some excitement building, and then that gets people maybe a little bit over their skis. But like you said, if you're going to have 7 home games and you think this team's going to be better than, say, 6-6, you got to win some of the home games.
Yeah.
So, because, yes, 4 road games, but they're not, we'll get to it. They're not going to Utah and winning unless something wild happens, that's the toughest place to play in the conference. Why would I sit here and expect them to go win that game right now?
You think Utah's tougher to win at than BYU?
Yeah, I think they're just, because typically they've been just a better team.
Yeah, but BYU at home is, especially at night, is a monster. It's
my mom's out there right now with my brother because he lives in Salt Lake now, and they went on some big hike to 1,100 feet or 11,000, whatever it was, and she's like, hope they go out there early so Dante gets his lungs used to this altitude. She's like, I was huffing and puffing, and she's in great shape. So
yeah.
But kind of sticking with Iowa State, we keep coming back to this. I think UC's got the talent to be right there with them, but it's going to be a vet coach, a vet team. They're not a team that plays in the portal a ton, so their guys have been on these road trips, have played in these games. So right now, I can't, if we're doing this straight up and we're being honest, I cannot pick UC to win that game.
I think I'm picking UC to win that game.
All right. That's fine. I don't see it right now, but that doesn't mean they can't. It's not a total mismatch, but
I just don't have a lot of faith in Rocco Becht without those two wide receivers. I think they made him look great. I think it will damage their run game if they don't have the passing game that they did a year ago. And like, things are not easy for them early.
No.
I mean, they've got Kansas State in Ireland. Then you got to get back to the United States. You 7 days later have South Dakota, which should be a win, but that's a quality FCS program. Then Iowa.
Cyhawk Trophy game, yeah.
And then for some reason, they're playing at Arkansas State.
That's weird. Did they sign a home and home with them?
Centennial Bank Stadium, Jonesboro, Arkansas, on September 13th. Then they get a bye week. They host Arizona and then Cincinnati. I think that one, just for whatever reason in my brain, if you're going to get it to 7, and I think ultimately this is a 7-win team, you got to get one that maybe you didn't expect to get. And I think I'm going to say this is the one.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, we talk about how close the Big 12 is and how so many games are in that maybe 3 to 6 point spread. And this program has to start winning some games that they weren't favored in.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be favored in very many games. So you can't take that step if you can't win these toss-up games.
Agreed. And I think it's a good jumping off point because it's the start of a 2-game Big 12 homestand, and that rolls into UCF. Saturday, October 11th. It's a wear black game. I think they're going to be maybe last in the conference. Arizona. I think they're going to be terrible.
I don't understand this one from like using SP Plus. Like, they actually have them at 58th and like UC at 59th.
Yeah.
But yet they're 94th in returning production. And they didn't bring in like a big time quarterback transfer. And I thought their quarterbacks last year were not good, just to be polite. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if maybe Ja'Cory Brown finds it in a Scott Frost offense. But I mean, he played a lot of the game down there last year and they scored 13 points. So, you know, Lee Hunter is gone. He's at Texas Tech. He was one of, if not their best defensive player on the defensive line. Yeah, I'm this one, I feel comfortable saying, you know, picking UC. Just too much roster turnover. I'm not big on these like second comings of whether it's him, whether it's Rich Rod. They might work, but historically they have not. If you go back and look at college football as a whole, like these bring them back type situations typically do not work out well.
And also, there's maybe my favorite stat, Dave. He's had one winning season in his head coaching career. One.
Mm-hmm.
The year that they went undefeated. And that offense was awesome. Don't get me wrong. I've actually joked around with some guys that were at UC in that era. And they will say that's the best team they played in their time at UC.
Oh yeah, when the rain out game was nasty. That could have been 80-0.
They will say that's the best team that they saw in their entire time at UC. That was the most skilled, talented, whatever. Like the question would be, who was the best team you played? And they would go back to that UCF team. But I don't know. Other than that, what data point says Scott Frost is a good coach?
I don't know.
And he's throwing stones at Nebraska. I went home, but I probably shouldn't have. I should have stayed here at UCF.
I think he said like I didn't know how good I had it, something like that. I mean, those could all be truths and things you say to buddies. I'm not sure I'd have said it at a media day.
Right. You have to win this one.
Yeah.
And I think they do. So I've got them on a 2-game winning streak. Dave has got them basically win, loss, win, up, down, win one, lose one, win one. Not exactly, but
yeah.
You're at 3-3. I'm at 4-2. And we go Saturday, October 18th, the day after my birthday, Boone Pickens Stadium, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Cincinnati against the Gundy boys, Oklahoma State Cowboys.
You have to win. They are a mess. And I know I've said these are the years that Gundy, after a year everyone thought they'd be good, then they weren't, and then he bounces back. I want to throw something at you real quick. 9 new coaches. Now, it sounds crazy, but it's easy to kind of extrapolate. You hire a new offensive coordinator, hire a new defensive coordinator. They don't want to keep the position coaches. They want to bring in their own guys, so that's how you get to 9 new coaches. Todd Grantham, defensive coordinator, for anybody that's also cheers for SEC teams, you'd be familiar with him. Here's my stat, maybe of any team. Entire quarterback room, how many college passes do you think they've thrown?
3.
0.
Okay, I was gonna guess that somebody had at least gotten like a mop-up throw in there.
They don't have a quarterback who has thrown a pass. Their big quarterback transfer was, I want to say is his name Hoss Henley or whatever. He was the backup at TCU who came in last year and just ran the ball against us in the snow.
Yeah.
So he can run. He can run for sure, but nobody knows if he can throw. But this is another one that I just don't understand. 57th in SP Plus with no quarterbacks that can throw. So that's 2 spots ahead of UC. No quarterbacks that have completed a pass. And 90th in returning production. So how do you think that's like the 57th best team? Again, I don't know. But
and a team that went 0-9.
Yeah, didn't win a conference game
in the conference last year.
Has all new coaches, a ton of new players, and no quarterback of record.
And most of those games it wasn't like they lost a bunch of heartbreakers. They got killed last year.
Yeah. So based on that, UC better win this game. Now they might be a totally different team come October 18th.
Yeah.
But 2 months before that, today, that better be a win.
Saturday, October 25th, the Baylor Bears come to town. It is homecoming. It is wear red. I have the Bearcats on a 3-game winning streak here, Dave. Iowa State, UCF, Oklahoma State. Baylor comes to town. I don't feel as good about this one. It feels like
the anti-homecoming game to me.
Yeah. It feels like you should have UCF should have been the homecoming game.
Yeah. I think Baylor has the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver trio in the conference.
I think whatever happened last year, Aranda got back on track.
Sawyer Robertson at quarterback, Bryson Washington at running back, Josh Cameron at receiver. All 3 of them are easily top 5 to me at their position in the conference. They're 9th in returning production, 5th offensively. I think this could be a shootout type game. I think if they do have any big question, it's their pass defense still. But I don't really want to get in a shootout with 3 dudes that I feel like are at the top of the league. And we kind of talked about this last year. We felt that, do we have the offense that can win some of these shootout type games? That ended up not being the case. I feel better about that this year, but if these 3 guys are really clicking and their defense is pretty good and not a total sieve on the back end, I think this one's going to be a hard one to win. I think there's some people's sneaky upper tier Big 12 team. So I would say right now loss.
I think Josh is right. Like if they beat Iowa State, UCF, and Oklahoma State, there could be a little juice at Nippert Stadium. 3-game winning streak, homecoming. So it's going to be a pretty full crowd regardless. Unfortunately, I think I'm with you, Dave. I think this is one of those. Baylor probably has just a little bit more juice in the tank in the fourth quarter. A few more answers. I have Baylor winning a close one late. That's probably at least in the 30s, at least, and maybe even a little higher than that.
Yeah, this one's got like Texas Tech last year written all over it.
Yeah, this is where things get interesting for the rest of the way. I'm at 5-3. Dave is at 4-4 at the 8-game mark. 4 games left, and 2 on the road, 2 at home. We start. I think we're both. I don't think we're going to have to spend a lot of time on this one. Utah in Salt Lake City, Saturday, November 1st. Are you thinking like me that Utah might be the team that wins this league?
I'm not going to go that far. I mean, I like some of the stuff that they have, but I don't think their defense is quite what it was like when they were just like the year that Oregon was really good and they just beat the crap out of them 2 times a couple years ago in the like. I don't think it's quite that good, and I have some questions about their skill guys that would keep me from saying like, oh yeah, they should be talked about with the top couple teams. Now, if it all clicks, they could be, because I think there's some things that I really like about them. Like, I really like their quarterback transfer, Devin Dampier from New Mexico. Dude can just, I mean, we'll see if he's a true dual threat. Electric running. Comes over with his offensive coordinator, so he's not learning a new system. This is very early. The draft is a long time from now, but they very well could have both of their tackles drafted in the first round. So talk about a test for this defensive line / front 7. We already mentioned how hard it is to play at Rice-Eccles. And then, returning production, they're 17th in the country. Offensively, it's 11th. And just everyone thought Kyle Whittingham was going to retire last year, and they were pretty bad for their standards. And so he's coming back to maybe give it one last go. And then they've named their coach in waiting, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. So, I mean, this is the hay is in the barn, so to speak. So, like, this one to me is like, I mean, this would be the kind of the surprise of all surprises this year if they went in there and got this done.
Yeah, I don't have a great feeling about this one, especially if it ends up being one of those, 10 o'clock at night, Big 12 after dark kickoffs that they seem to love when Cincinnati goes out to the mountains. And really, like, Utah's got Texas Tech to open Big 12 play. They've got Arizona in week 3, and then the Holy War, but Colorado, Cincinnati. Like, I think they could be pretty hot by that point in time.
Yeah.
Because they get Texas Tech at home, they get Arizona State at home. If they can win those 2 games at home, I think they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah. I mean, you get your hardest games at home. That's the way you want it. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of like there. I don't think they quite have the firepower for me to say like, oh yeah, they're right up there with some of the other teams I think are the best in the league. But the pieces are there to play kind of that Utah style, and where the rest of the Big 12 is more of a passing league this year. Are they more of a 2 tight end? These 2 great offensive linemen, a running quarterback, and they just grind your ass into the turf.
Yeah. I got Utah. You got Utah. One of the more important games of the year, I think, if this team's going to get to 7, Arizona Nippert Stadium, Saturday, November 15th, military appreciation, wear black. They're expected to be bad. You have to win this Arizona game you're getting Arizona in Nippert Stadium in November.
Yeah, hopefully it's like
40,
42 degrees and raining.
You have to win this game.
Outside of Noah Fafita coming back at quarterback, I mean, it seemed like last year was just an absolute mess for them from watching from the outside. Tedero McMillan's gone. Their running back, who apparently wants to go, his name, he goes by Bill. He had a nice touchdown run against the Bengals defense. He's gone. But yeah, it says they have, ESPN has them at 15th in returning production. I'm not sure how that works because it feels like they have like a whole new roster again. But yeah, I mean, you got to win these home games. Like, you can't get to, everyone's talking about like 7-8 wins or more. You got to win 5 home games to do that.
You got to at least win 4.
Or win all your road games, which,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just Big 12 wise, you got to win it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go 3-2.
They only have 4 road games, and they're all 4 true road. I guess 3 true road games and 1 neutral game. So,
well, 4 Big 12 road games.
Yeah. So I mean, if you
game.
win 4, you still have to win 3 of your Big 12 road games.
Yeah. Then we move on to Senior Day, Saturday, November 22nd. Against BYU. I have them bowl eligible at this point. You have them 1 game away. I love BYU in Provo. I can't pick a team that's got a guy wearing number 47 at quarterback. So
Bear Bachmeier. I would like this game a lot earlier in the schedule.
Fair.
Because of the quarterback situation. I have them winning for 2 reasons as of right now. Well, maybe 3 reasons. The quarterback situation, obviously. Now, come November, what does that look like? Their defense was really good, but it was I think they might have been number 1 in the country in turnovers forced and maybe turnover margin. That's not typically like a repeatable stat. It's no given that because you forced a ton of turnovers last year that you're just going to do that again this year.
Right.
It's a volatile stat. And then returning production, they're 92nd. Now, how much of that is the quarterback? I think they had one of their wide receivers transfer out. But defensively, we know what they'll be. They'll be big on the offensive line. They'll be big on the defensive line. They'll be a tough physical team. But home game. Who knows who the hell knows what's going to happen with the quarterback situation? I mean, even if this guy, he won it, but it's not like they had a ton to choose from. I mean, it's like lower level guy transferring up that hadn't really played, maybe a guy that was on the roster with them for a year or 2 that hadn't played at all. So this could be a case where who we think the quarterback is now is not the quarterback when they come to Cincinnati.
Yeah. But their starting quarterback wears number 47.
Yeah.
You can't lose that game.
No.
That's not a game you can lose. Dave, we got 1 game left in the season. We both have them bowl eligible.
Yes.
You are at 6-5. I am at 7-4. The last game of the year takes us to Fort Worth, Amon G. Carter Stadium, our old friend Sonny Dykes, as the Bearcats play TCU.
This is my how much do you like Josh Hoover versus how much do you not think Sonny Dykes is a good coach?
It's fair.
But anyway, Josh Hoover's really good. They're going to have a really good offense again, even without Jack Besh and Savion Williams. I'm sure they're going to have a good offense. Yeah, SP plus 28th, top 20 in offense, 30th in returning production. Going down there, end of the year, their last game, who knows? I mean, they ended up having a 9-win season last year. I feel like it was built on not smoke and mirrors, but when you really broke down who they beat, I don't know if it was as impressive as it seems, but just going on the road last game of the year, I can't, like, I think that's just going to be a tough one. They could be, if things go really well for them, this could be like a make the Big 12 championship type game.
Things don't, I mean, the thing that I can't shake, they had no interest in winning at Cincinnati at the end of the year last year.
And we didn't either.
Right.
Or played like we didn't. I can't speak to the interest level of the players, but
they were like, that was a sideline that they were just kind of like, we're here. Like, how long until we can get back on the plane?
Yeah.
And then Cincinnati let them hang around. And then all you could see, like in the second half, they kind of had that shift of like, I guess we should win.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't want it either, I guess we should probably take it. But that was just a completely weird vibe down there that day because they just didn't seem all that interested. I'm sure it'll be different. They'll be at home. They usually get pretty decent crowds, don't they? They've got North Carolina and SMU out of conference. In conference, Arizona State, Colorado, Kansas State, Baylor, West Virginia, Iowa State, BYU, Houston, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It's not a murderer's row in conference, really.
No. And that's why I'm saying, like, they could mess around and, if every team is going to potentially have a couple losses or maybe even a 3-loss team sneaks into the conference championship, this could be a game where they're like, oh shit, we just messed around and we win this and somebody else loses and we're going to Dallas.
I think a lot of it feels like with Sonny Dykes, you know or you don't, like or you know. And North Carolina and SMU, I think, will kind of set the course for them, right? Because it feels like when they've had good seasons, like last year, they just kind of got on a roll, and next thing you know, you looked and they had 9 wins.
Yeah.
Is North Carolina any good?
I mean,
I have no idea.
Who knows? I think SMU will be good again. I mean, who the hell knows with North Carolina? I mean, we're talking about Bill Belichick. I mean, this whole thing is just going to be fascinating to watch with no interest or like I could care less with how it goes, but it'll be a hell of a watch.
Yeah, for sure. I'm probably going to go with TCU as well. But that one you could sway me, Dave. You could sway me on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there are certainly some, like the Kansas game, the TCU game, the Iowa State game. There's certainly spots where you can talk yourself into it.
I think you could talk yourself into Baylor at home.
I have a hard time talking myself into that one right now.
I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think their defense is good. I think their offense, like I said, I'm picking Baylor because I think at the end of the day, they'll have just a little bit more firepower over 60 minutes. But a couple turnovers, the ball bounces the wrong way. Like I don't think their defense is good enough to just say Baylor in a runaway.
No, I'm not saying runaway, but yeah. Do you mind taking a few of these questions for me real quick? I have to jump off here for a quick second.
Okay.
Do some stuff in the chat for me real quick.
Watch Arizona win the conference this year. I don't see that one, Greg. That one, I mean, I guess maybe last. Hi, Aaron, by the way.
Hi. Well, Dave texted me. He needed me to tag in. So
okay. Are we re-airing last year's show? No, they played TCU the last game of the year, both years. What are your thoughts, Aaron?
Well, I'm just hopping in the chat. But as far as
well, so this has been the season preview show. We have gone through, and we've done every game throughout the season. We have reached kind of the ending point here. I have them at 7-5. Dave has them at 6-6. Your thoughts?
Well, I've been vocal about mine, saying that I think they're somewhere between 8 and 10, and that's probably what Dave was alluding to when he said that he couldn't have been on Monday's show because Brent and I are a little out over our skis. That said, I mean, when Zack talked about the Four Claps podcast, and you see the clip that went viral today, and they're gushing over Brendan Sorsby, and we've talked ad nauseum about this receiving core, and I think it's probably more so on the defense than it is on the offense to get to some of these wins that we've been talking about all night. That all said, I don't know. I mean, you guys are trying to be more realistic. I think Dave's maybe a little bit more pessimistic, and rightfully so. There's not been a whole lot when you're looking at 8-16 over the course of Satterfield's 3 seasons here. I get it.
2 seasons here.
Sorry, yeah.
I mean, I think the thing is, Aaron, like, it's not a matter of pessimistic or optimistic. It's a matter of trying to make sure you have everybody, unless your team is just going to be trash, right? If there's any reason for optimism, like I heard people all off season, I won't name names, but prominent people in the Cincinnati landscape, like the Bengals are going to be better on defense. Why? What gives you that belief that the Bengals were going to be better on defense? And maybe they are. But you get a lot of hope in the offseason. Optimism builds in the offseason. We've done enough of these now that I think we've learned it's important to listen to what's happening, but to not get out over your skis after a month of guys practicing against each other.
I get that. I also look, trying to take in the entire landscape of the Big 12 is a daunting task, especially when we don't even know what we have here to an extent. And so you have, like you're saying, you have to line up and play the games. And so it's predictions are getting more and more difficult every single year.
Agree.
Dave, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. I had to take a call from Dan Simon, so I'm sorry.
How'd that go? How's he doing?
He's doing great. I mean,
Vegas is what was it? Cal State Fullerton joining the Pac-12 in baseball?
No, I think it's Dallas Baptist.
Or Dallas Baptist joining the Pac-12 in baseball. Baseball only. We're doing baseball only conference realignment now. Evan, I have no clue to answer your question. Does Jizzle's NIL disappear since he's not with the program? Say we find another European. Will we have enough money to sign them? I have no idea. What I don't know, how much did he get was NIL? How much did he get was rev share? Because whatever he got, if it was NIL, they tried to get that out by July 1st.
So he probably already has.
If he got a lot of NIL, then that would have probably been distributed in large part. If it's rev share, from talking to people around the industry and trying to understand some of this stuff over the last month, if it's rev share, there's a lot of clauses in these rev share contracts, in my understanding, that trigger at the start of the semester. He's obviously not going to be here at the start of the semester. So it depends on where the money came from. If the money was intended to come from rev share, there's a chance that a lot of it ends up staying in-house. If there's money that was coming from NIL, because of the house settlement and the way everything was done, everybody wanted to get a lot of those contracts signed by June 6th. and that money paid prior to the start of the new fiscal year on July 1st. So that means that whatever NIL money he got would probably have already been distributed. But to answer how did that actually go, I don't know. And I'll be honest with you, nobody's going to tell me. Even if I say pretty please with sugar on top, they're not going to tell me. So that's the best answer.
So what you're saying is back to your regularly scheduled program.
Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Is Texas Tech really good, Dave?
I mean, they're sure as shit hoping.
They're expensive.
They're expensive.
They really cost a lot.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's because we don't play them. That one is another one that's like going to be fascinating to watch because, like, I mean, everything out of Lubbock is we need to be in the Big 12 championship game for a program that's never played in the Big 12 championship game. Like, that's hella expectations. That'd be, we need to go to a conference championship game that we've never played in, or it's been a failure of a year. And we spent $50 million and then we're going to fire everybody.
I mean, that goes back to Houston firing Tom Herman and saying we win 9 games a year.
We're not an 8-4 team or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, I'm all for, you got it, do it. Expectations are good, but I mean, what if you just start the year like 4-2? And that's not even initially bad. That's right on pace with what Texas Tech is.
Yeah, but at that point, you've potentially lost 2 Big 12 games.
Yeah,
and one more, and you basically have no shot to play.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to me to be like, we need to do something that we've never done, or it's a failure. So where did we come out in this? I know I came out at 6-6. Did you come out at 7-5?
7-5 because I took Iowa. I think we agreed on almost everything else.
Yeah,
I just had them beating Iowa State, and you didn't. I think that's about right. I mean, until I see better late game execution, better special teams, better situational understanding, time and space, better end of the first half, better start to the second half, things like that. Until I see that, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter to me because you can play well and make that critical fourth quarter error or make that critical error that flips the momentum of a game that you have control of and you let control slip away. You're up by 17 points and you make a dumb decision and now it's down to 10 and next thing you know, it's 3. And then you're on your heels and you're in trouble. And because of the way offenses go in this league, Dave, like you never really feel safe about a lead.
Nope. I mean, the defense made a 5.4 point per game jump from 23 to 24, and that's with a new defensive coordinator and a bunch of new pieces. Are they going to make another 5.4 point per game jump? Probably not. Can they make a jump again? I think so. I think that's fully understandable. The offense needs to take that same 5.4% jump, essentially, to get into the 30-plus point per game average, which puts you as it's wild how it works out. 30 points per game in the last 2 years basically nails you as a top 50 offense. It was 48th in 2023, and it was 51st last year. And UC was 86th in points per game in 2023 and 89th last year. It sounds silly to break it down to such a simple one data point, one statistic. If they don't get to 30 points a game, they're not going to get where we think they need to get.
Yeah. I think they would probably agree with you. I think the people that work on the offense, the people that run the offense, the Brendan Sorsby, I think would probably agree with you. Brendan, if you guys don't score at least 30 points a game this year, will you have been as successful as you desire to be? His answer, I think, would be no.
And, we're going into year 3 with Coach Satterfield. His year 7 as what we would call it was P5 when he was at Louisville. Now it's P4. He's got to buck a trend. I mean, he's 33-40 overall in those 6 years. Came into Louisville, went 8-5 first year. Things were going good. Backslid immediately to 4-7, and it's been a whole bunch of 6-6, 7-5, 5-7s.
Yeah.
So, if that's what he is as a head coach going into year 7, I mean, that's a lot of data points to look at. You gotta move the needle.
Other thing is, Dave, just call a spade a spade. You can't hire an offensive coach that doesn't run an offense that gets you 30 points a game.
No.
If Luke Fickell's offense isn't scoring 30 points a game, you're not shocked, right? Ohio State, trestle ball, run it, control the clock. You know how that goes. Maybe if that team scores 27 points, you also look at it and go, I expect us to be elite on defense. And if we average 27 a game, I'm feeling pretty good that things are going to be successful. If you hire an offensive-minded coach, you need to be an offensive-minded team that's able to score 4 touchdowns and 1 touchdown a quarter, Dave. 1 touchdown a quarter, and then kick in a field goal somewhere.
When you're running 70 to 90 plays a game, that shouldn't be a problem.
Unless you're running 14 plays a drive to gain 53 yards.
Right.
So yeah. Gosh, Anthony, thank you. We haven't heard enough from Louisville fans about what they think about Coach Satterfield. So thanks for stopping by. You guys are still at it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
How do you know he's a Louisville fan?
Because he was here in the beginning talking about Satterfield.
Oh, okay.
And then he talked about bringing back the keg of nails.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Anywho. We touched enough on the Jizzle James situation.
I have nothing to add to that.
Dave, do you have anything to add about the Jizzle James situation?
No, not one single thing.
Okay. Maybe what we'll do next week is after we do the Nebraska preview, and maybe this will be a better BBP topic. I don't know, but we'll kind of reset the basketball roster.
That would definitely be a better BBP topic.
Who wins the league? Matt, I think if I had to take a stab at it, I think I'm going to have Utah in the conference title game. I haven't fully decided on that second team in the conference title game yet. I'm not an Arizona State repeats guy. Although maybe that's one of those teams where they catch that 2-year wave of they get hot, they gain confidence, it rolls over to the next year, and they get back. Who do you have?
Arizona State and Kansas State.
I'll go Utah and Kansas.
But
State.
like I could see, I mean, Texas Tech has all the talent, but I'm not going to pick them to do something they've never done. And then I like Baylor. Utah.
I don't know that Baylor has the defense.
Utah, I'm not sure it matters if you've got that offense.
Okay. There's going to be a couple games you're going to have to get a stop or two.
Right, but maybe there's not.
The Bengals fan in you is coming out.
No, that's just always been my thing. Is like you can't when people are like you can't keep winning games with your field goal kicker missing field goals. Sure, you can. Maybe they don't matter. There's no guarantee that you can't keep winning games if you're committing 10. UC won a whole lot of games with Luke Fickell, and we're one of the most penalized teams in the country. And it never really mattered.
Ruthless aggression, Dave. Ruthless aggression.
Yeah. So
that one's just not true. Like the most penalized teams are almost always good teams.
Right, but you know that fans will sit there and say, we can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. It's going to come back to haunt us, or it doesn't. But no, I think I'm interested to see if Avery Johnson takes another step. He had some, like the game against UC, had some really good games last year, had some not so great games. Interested to see him there. They do have a new offensive coordinator. Colin Klein went to Texas A&M. But like Dylan Edwards is back, like him as a wide receiver. Kansas State feels like a lazy pick because it feels like they're never going to be like bad.
Yeah.
So come November, they're probably going to be like somewhere in contention. Maybe not like the runaway favorite, but win a couple games, have some things break your way. I'm in on Arizona State. I love the quarterback wide receiver combination. Ton of dudes back on defense. Vibes are immaculate in Tempe. I'll go with them until they prove me wrong.
Okay. I think they were I think they caught a lot of breaks last year.
Oh, I'm sure
I think there was a period last year where they weren't very good.
No, they were not. They're this whole case study of, or not case study. I mean, the Big 12 used them as the example of getting rid of the preseason media poll. And my argument, and many other people's argument, was for the first half of the year, they weren't playing like a team that should have been picked. Now, maybe picked higher than dead last, but it's not like they were playing like a great team. They barely beat Mississippi State, who was dreadful, and Texas State, and then lost to us. Yeah. So it's like they really didn't get rolling until the back half of the year. It's not the media picking in July that caused them not to be ranked higher, than they were.
Right. All right. Well, I think that about does it. Dave says 6-6. I say 7-5. We both have them bowling. We'll discuss what that means in December. That's going to do it. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to Zack Stipe, the Holy Grail, Cincy Light, Turtles Brew, Homefield Apparel, and all of you. We'll see you next time. The BCJ Podcast, right here on BearcatJournal.com.